Do you ever think about rhubarb? What are your thoughts and feelings on rhubarb? This was everything I was thinking at 7:10 this morning. Impressed? Not really. Worried slightly. Bemused, certainly. Confused, yes.
I don't know how I feel about it. Dear ladies, please tell me if you think I'm being unreasonable or not.
I bet she's not.
Hello everyone, welcome to 40ish. I'm Nicole Goodman.
And I'm Lauren Mishcon.
Welcome to the podcast that navigates challenges and absurdities of 40-something life. Every episode we discuss your problems, your issues, your rants that you have very, very kindly shared with us. And we also tell you about our own situations that are happening in our own midlife.
We do. What is your most 40ish situatione currently?
Situatione.
Yeah.
Well, it's just been Easter weekend.
Yes.
And I had 23 people over for tea on Saturday.
Wow.
Which is a lot, right?
That's a big old tea.
You know,
Got enough mugs for that?
Actually, it's funny that you say that. I did go into a little bit of panic in the morning of, oh my God, what if 23 people want a cup of tea or coffee all at the same time? But, you know, it never goes like that. It's like when I used to entertain, I was used to have like 23 of everything.
Yes.
Because you just assume that everyone wants one.
Yeah.
But that's not how people eat.
It isn't?
No, not everybody has everything.
Was there like booze and tea?
Yes.
Okay, so I would start with the glass of champers and then move on to the cup of tea.
It wasn't champers, it was wine.
Oh, wine.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, we were fine for mugs. Thank you
Okay,
for
good,
asking.
I'm
But
glad.
what I did do is I elevated my hostessing skills this very weekend, Lauren.
Yeah.
I really did.
Yeah.
I actually think that I elevated myself to such a degree that I think I am now going to go down in history as one of, you know, the best hostesses of all time. Flex. And also someone said that on the way out.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I thought to myself, wow, I didn't realise how important it was to me to be such a lovely hostess. To the point, this is a bit morbid, I want someone to say that in my eulogy.
If someone doesn't say that at my eulogy, I will rise up from the dead and haunt them.
That's nice.
I will. But what?
How kind.
What did you do that was so wonderful?
I did a grazing table.
A grazing table. Very on trend.
Yeah.
Quite middle-aged. Also not. Very Instagrammable.
You know,
did you put it on the gram?
I did. I put it on my stories. I had so many people comment on my grazing table. In fact, I will put it on 40ish's stories on the back of this.
Let everyone see it. Did you put it on Facebook?
No, because I put it on my Instagram stories and that goes over to Facebook.
Oh, I see.
It's synced.
It's
synced.
Yeah.
So many people responded asking who did it for me because they wanted the caterer's details.
Dreamy.
And I said, actually, I did it. And they were like, oh my God, how long did this take you? Let me tell you something, people.
How long did it take you?
Well, I mean...
It's a large table, that dining table.
It fits 8 to 10 people.
It was fully covered in...
Oh, you've got to cover it from beginning to end.
Yeah.
You can't have anything... You can't have any table on display.
It's foliage plus food.
You've got to put foliage down first, then the flowers. I basically watched a lot of TikTok videos.
Oh, okay.
With how to set up a grazing table.
Did you do salami roses? Because I always love it when they make a salami rose in a glass. They make it look so easy.
I wasn't going to do a salami rose because it was a room full of Jewish people.
Oh, okay.
That
so
isn't
maybe
kosher.
Not appropriate.
And also it was the Passover where Jewish people aren't supposed to eat bread and all that.
Right. So
flour.
no breadsticks in a vase because that's an easy get
No
out.
breadsticks in a vase.
Shame.
And there were 3 people there that kept the Passover, so they still weren't eating the bread and the cakes and the and all of that.
I see.
So I had to keep it Passover friendly, which was so fucking annoying because you can't do like the mini bagels and it.
No.
And then I thought, oh my God, I'm not gonna be able to do the grazing table. Then I thought, no,
I can and I will. I'll graze the fuck out of that table.
And then when they arrived and they saw the grazing table, they were like, oh, we keep Pesach. I said, no, it's Pesach Friday. And they're like, do you know what? We're not that strict and it's over tomorrow anyway. And I thought, fucking hell.
Could have bought those mini bagels.
Yeah, and the breadsticks in the vase.
Save myself a load of hassle. Wow.
So you start with the big items first, FYI.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And you have to make everything symmetrical, I would say. So because of the way that I am trained in hairdressing, everything is very much in balance and in symmetry.
Now, is there a way to like work your way around the table? Do you go like, do you mix up the sweet and the savoury? Or do you put the savoury one in, the sweet the other?
Yeah.
You do?
No, I didn't.
No.
I did both sides like the same.
Oh, I see.
You know how they have it on like a buffet and sometimes you get to the other end of the buffet and you're so disappointed because you realise it's exactly the same as the other side.
Yeah.
I did that vibe.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because there were a lot of people, right? So I did like both ends had the carrots and the cucumber, and then in the middle I did the fruit tower, and then I even cut up like the watermelon and I left the melon in the skin of the watermelon. It looked fabulous. Totally fabulous.
Little melon boats.
Melon boats. It was gorgeous.
Wow.
It was.
You are very pleased with yourself, aren't you?
Tickled pink, I would even say.
And what was for pudding? Did you make your ninja creamies?
No, firstly, with the grazing table, you don't need to do. You don't need to do the pudding
because it's all in one.
It's all in one.
There's no courses.
There's no courses.
Just
there's no serving.
Graze like a horse.
And there's also very little washing up.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So no, I didn't do the ninja creamies because of two reasons. One, it's very hard, and I know you're going to love this because you are so quick to find the fault in the ninja creamy. It's very hard to. Yeah.
Yep.
It's very hard to use the ninja creamy when you're entertaining.
Oh, because of the noise.
It's very noisy.
Yes.
And it takes quite a long time. Okay. So if you've got a lot of people there, so each creamy takes about 5-6 minutes.
Too long.
If you've got a lot of people there, I would have had to have done like 7-8 creamies.
Too long.
I mean, that would have been like 45 minutes of this drilling noise.
No.
Can't do that.
It's a hard no.
So that's the first thing that's wrong with the Ninja Creamy. Yeah. And the second thing, the second reason why I couldn't do the Ninja Creamy is because my Ninja Creamy broke.
Your Ninja Creamy broke.
Are you happy?
Oh dear.
Are you happy?
What happened?
Are you happy?
No, what happened?
Just say it. Admit
it.
it.
What happened to it? Who broke it? Whose fault is it?
Well, I don't really know what happened.
You overused it?
I've just got it.
You've only had it since February.
Yeah.
Oh dear. It's
I know.
Sad day. Has it gone back for repair?
Yeah. Let me tell you something. You know how I hate a return.
I know.
That Ninja Creamy was boxed up and packed off to the post office quicker than you can say Ninja Creamy.
Well done.
Thanks.
I made 2 ice creams this Easter. No machine involved. And
no machine involved?
No. You just,
not one machine involved in making ice cream?
You just mix.
Not even a Magimix?
You whip and mix.
What are you whipping with?
Whip with a whisk, mix, freeze. No noise, no machine. No having to do it last minute. I'm just going to give you the recipe.
What do you mean no having to do it last minute? You can't make
it in the freezer and it comes out and it's creamy and smooth and nice. You don't have to like do it on the spot.
What did you use? What's in the ingredients? Cream.
Cream.
Yeah.
Condensed milk.
See, you've lost me at cream and condensed milk.
Fresh raspberries, dark chocolate. Then I did another one that was coffee and chocolate.
Was it nice?
Yeah, it's banging. Yeah.
For full transparency, by the way, she couldn't wait to tell me that she'd made ice cream. I knew this. And she told me very quickly after I told her that the Ninja Creamy had broken, was she quick to tell me that she made an ice cream on the same day that I told her that it broke. I just don't think that's very cool.
I'm just saying it wasn't me that broke it. I promise.
No, you were just...
I didn't come over with a screwdriver. I didn't come over with a screwdriver. Anyway, just before we dive into your dilemmas, a very quick disclaimer. We're not doctors, we're not healthcare professionals, we're not even professional ice cream makers. We're just 2 middle-aged women who like hosting. And this is just a fun space where we share our thoughts, which could be wrong.
Hold on, you forgot.
Right.
We're just two middle-aged women who one of them has been named the best hostess ever. I think it's better than my British Podcast Award. That.
Do you?
Yeah.
Maybe they'll make you an award for it, for hosting.
Oh, I'd love that.
Yeah. Be nice.
Hostessing.
Hostessing.
Yeah.
So listeners, if there is an issue you're seriously struggling with, please contact a qualified expert.
What's our first dilemma?
It's not very nice. It's not nice.
Oh, okay. I'm prepared.
Brace yourself. My 16-year-old daughter went to her friend's house for dinner the other night. When she came home, she told me the dad made her feel very uncomfortable as he asked her how long she had been with her boyfriend and then asked her if they were having sex. What? He then followed it up by asking her if she would like it if her boyfriend was into porn. Ugh, this is not nice. Let me say, says this mother, she is 16 and he is probably nearing 50 years old. I have never met him, but I had a visceral reaction to this. I burst into tears and I told her she wasn't to ever go into the house again. I explained to her that the discomfort she felt must never be ignored. She must always listen to it and remove herself ASAP. We spoke a lot about safety and appropriate versus inappropriate behaviour, so I think I've made sure she understands this is utterly unacceptable. I am so upset and I'm not sure what to do. Should I speak to the mother or even to the dad? The mother was there, by the way, and said nothing. Or should I just leave it and make sure she never goes to the house again? Wow.
Oh, that is
revolting. I'm just thinking about it. Like, my husband's a similar age. I cannot even envisage him sitting at a dinner table and asking like one of the boys' girlfriends that sort of question or having that sort of conversation with them. It is utterly and totally, even if he said it in a jokey way, inappropriate.
No. It's never a joke. It's never funny. You do not objectify a 16-year-old girl who's in your house like that.
It's none of his business.
Of course it's none of his business.
Any of this stuff. If she's having sex, how long she's been with her boyfriend. Why does it concern him?
It's very provocative.
The other thing that I feel really uncomfortable about this, and I'm not putting it on this
I know
mother,
exactly what you're going to say, that the mother didn't say anything.
Like if, let's say, heaven forfend, that conversation happened in my house, I would jump in and say, excuse me, you don't have to answer that question. And then I would say to my husband, that's really inappropriate.
And then rip him a new one
afterwards,
when you were on your own.
And I'd say to the girl, please don't answer that. It's really none of his business. So why did she say nothing? Did she think it was okay? Was it banter?
I would imagine she has said nothing because this has just been totally normalised in her household.
And also, I can see from the email that the mother is really upset. But how did the daughter feel about it? Like, she hasn't really said. Oh, she said he made her feel very uncomfortable, but she didn't say if she was upset or how she would feel about going back to the house again.
Well, I think there's a few things here. I think because I have a daughter, and I think I would say the same thing to her. I would definitely, the first thing I would do is educate the kid into what's right and what isn't right, and make sure that she understands that just because he's an adult and just because she's under his roof, it does not mean that she has to stay there or that she has to answer those disgusting questions.
But it's really hard because I think, effectively she is still a child.
Yep.
And there's a grown man asking her that. And
in his house,
and it's almost impossible in that situation to be brave enough to say,
actually, that's not okay.
Actually, I'm sorry, I don't want to talk to you about that.
Yeah.
That's really...
I think I would find that hard at 48. Wouldn't you?
Well, I would just say it's absolutely none of your business.
You would now.
But not at 16, I wouldn't be able to do that.
16, I wouldn't have been able to do that.
No way.
But it's obviously very appropriate that the kid can and does.
Yes.
I mean, and I think it is absolutely fair that this child never goes back into this house again.
I think that's mainly dependent on how she feels about it, because it's her friend. Like, does she feel like she can go back? Does she feel like, I'll go back?
Would you want your child going back?
I don't think I'd feel particularly comfortable about it. I also don't know how I would broach that conversation. with either parent, because that's really hard. And also, if somebody rang you up and accused Adam of that, I think your immediate reaction would be to be quite defensive.
Well, there's no accusation, is there? Because they were all sat there.
Yeah.
So it's happened.
Yeah.
And it's a fact.
Yeah.
I mean, what would you do? Would you just leave it? I don't know what I would do. I would feel as uncomfortable as this poor mother feels.
I think I probably would leave it. But I think if a situation arose where she had to be there was a birthday party or something like that, I would, I don't know, I'd feel very protective of her.
Well, I think it's clear that it's not a safe place for this young girl to be. It feels like she would be very vulnerable going into that house again.
And I'd also be really interested to know what his daughter, what the friend was feeling while that conversation was going on. Like,
for her.
Was she like, oh, my dad, oh, he's a bit embarrassing? Or do you think she would have felt like this is absolutely so embarrassing?
Well, the thing is, I guess everything's normal in your own household, isn't it? Until you learn differently as to what's normal and what isn't.
Yeah.
So maybe to the mum and maybe to the daughter, this is just how he behaves and, oh, you know what he's like. It might be that kind of vibe.
Also, even in the most open household, and I appreciate everyone runs their home life differently, I just don't think that's an okay thing to ask a young girl.
I agree. I like violently agree with the mother here. It is not ever okay. There is never a situation that you should make a young girl feel uncomfortable and vulnerable in your home, in your company. It's not okay. That's the sort of like, don't ever sleep over there. Just don't go in that house. But you're right. What would she do if there is a birthday there? Because if it's a friend of hers, it's a friend of hers. I don't know. I don't know what I would do. I would like to say that I would be brave enough to call the mother up and say, look, this happened and I'm not okay with it. And actually, I feel really uncomfortable, but I just don't know if I could.
But it's also, she didn't say it. I know she allowed it to happen at the table, but it's not actually her responsibility what comes out of her husband's mouth.
Well, it's in her house.
It is.
It's at her dinner table. And she also does have a responsibility as like a safeguarding issue, isn't it? If the child is in her care at that time.
It's a really hard one. I'm sorry for you. Whoever wrote this in, I understand why you're upset. I really do.
I think it's great what you've done with your daughter, that you've educated her on what's correct and what isn't.
Yeah.
And I think it's, if you don't want her going there, I totally understand. And I guess it's up to her what she feels comfortable with. But I would definitely say no sleepovers.
No.
That's for sure.
And also if she ever has to be in the house, to make sure she's never alone with him.
Yeah, 100%. That's just awful.
Yeah.
Sending love to you. I'm so sorry that this has happened.
Yuck. That's left me with an icky feeling like I want to have a shower.
Yeah. Blech. Let's go to a break.
Okay. I'll tell you the most 40-ish moment of my week so far. It was like 7:10. Everyone had left for school.
In the morning or evening?
In the morning, sorry. Everyone had left for school, work. I'd done a bit of laundry, done my normal morning stuff. And then I found myself making a rhubarb compote. And as I was making rhubarb compote at 7:10 in the morning, I was thinking, whilst I'm doing this, I feel like Nicole is chucking things around a gym, lifting things, pushing things, squatting, and how very, very different our lives are.
Thank fuck.
And I thought, like, what are the chances that Nicole is also making rhubarb compote right now? I thought 0. She will never have made rhubarb compote. She never will make. In fact, I don't think it would even occur to you to buy rhubarb. Have you ever bought rhubarb? And do you know the difference between forced rhubarb and other rhubarb? Do you ever think about rhubarb? What are your thoughts and feelings on rhubarb? This was everything I was thinking at 7:10 this morning. You were on my mind.
What question am I answering
all
first?
The questions.
I don't often think about rhubarb.
Okay.
I do like a rhubarb and custard sweet.
Okay.
I don't mind a rhubarb crumble.
Delicious.
Other than that, it never, ever comes into my orbit.
Would you ever put it in your avocado shop?
Never. I wouldn't know what to do with rhubarb. Do you bake it?
Yes.
Can you boil it?
I mean, compote is effectively kind of boiling, but you don't really boil it. Kind of simmer it with some orange juice.
Now I have questions.
Okay, please.
7:10 in the morning.
I'm ready. Yeah.
Everyone's left for school and work.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in the house on your own. You've got a day to get along with, I'm sure. You're gonna we normally meet around whatever
plenty
time.
of stuff to do, yeah.
Yeah, plenty of stuff. So you've put the first wash on of the day.
Of course.
Standard.
Obs.
At what point do you then think, oh, I must get the rhubarb out of the fridge? I don't even know if you keep it in the fridge. I assume you do.
Yeah.
And I must make a compote.
Well, I'll tell you for why.
Like, walk me through this.
Well, I'd sort of forgotten that I'd bought it. I'd bought it sort of over the Easter weekend.
Is it in your weekly avocado shop?
No, 'cause it's not always rhubarb season. Let's be clear about that.
Okay.
Seasonal. Special. I bought it over Easter because I thought along with the ice cream, I'll make a kind of baked rhubarb thing and people can have it with some double cream, like as a little side dish thing. But I didn't make it.
I just had a moment.
What? What?
It's like when we decided to make a podcast about middle age.
Yeah.
I think we have really hit our stride.
We really have. We're really digging in here.
We're digging into what's in our avocado shop.
Yeah.
How to make rhubarb.
This is life. This is 40-ish life.
This is your life.
Yeah.
This is your life.
This is my 40-ish life.
I don't know anyone else who makes compots.
I guarantee there are plenty of 40-ish listeners out there who make things with rhubarb.
I want to know, hands up, you make rhubarb compote.
James, do you make rhubarb
There's
compote?
no way he does, and there's no way Natalie does. There's no way.
Natalie might.
I will bet £500 on the fact that James's wife does not make rhubarb compote. James? No, he just said actually. He's lying. He's lying. He's lying. I will phone Natalie now. I have her number. He's laughing.
Natalie will DM us. It's fine. Natalie will DM us with her rhubarb answer.
Natalie,
if
you make rhubarb compote, we can't be friends. No.
Anyway,
I want to know.
Yeah.
Right. I want people to DM us over who makes rhubarb compote.
Right. You can't do many things with rhubarb, okay? Crumble. You can bake it. You can have it as a side dish. You can put it on a tart.
A side dish?
Like...
It's more of a dessert, isn't it? Like you never have it on like a roasted vegetables.
Yeah, we can have it with pork, actually. It goes very nicely.
Okay.
You could put it on a tart. I've done a rhubarb tart before.
What are you calling a tart?
Anyway, the thought process was open the fridge to check out what might I make for dinner tonight. Standard. Yeah, in the morning?
No.
You're not deciding what you're making for dinner in the morning?
No.
Okay.
I decide at about 6 o'clock.
Oh gosh, no.
But then I don't know who's home. People aren't often home. Adam's usually playing tennis or Lily Rose has got a match.
But food still needs making. I need to open the fridge, see what's in there. Saw the rhubarb, thought, shit, the rhubarb. Better get on with that.
Oh my God, the rhubarb!
Better do something with that.
There's rhubarb here.
And then I thought, great.
Why did you buy the rhubarb?
I just told you to serve as a dessert side dish on Easter weekend, but I forgot to make it.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't listening.
So rude. Probably no one else is either now. They've tuned in back to Radio 4.
Because
they're 40-ish, remember?
That doesn't mean they listen to Radio 4.
Okay, capital extra.
LBC?
Oh, yeah, LBC. Talk radio.
Yeah.
What else? So I made it.
Just another podcast.
And then I put it in a Tupperware in the fridge and I thought, lovely. Now, anyone who wants to have it with some Greek yogurt in the morning, afternoon, evening, or as an after dinner treat has got it ready.
That is actually, I have to say, I was all ready just to take the piss. I have to say, if I came home and opened my fridge and there was rhubarb compote there, I would be so very happy.
This is what it's like to be married to me. It's a joy. It's a joy.
Did anyone eat it?
Well, no, because it was only yesterday morning, so no one's really seen it.
So it's still sitting there?
Sitting there, yeah, ready.
You could have brought it today. We could have had it for our tea.
Good. I can bring it tomorrow if you'd like some.
We're going out for lunch tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, you're right, we are. Anyway, that's my most 40-ish thing that I've done. Impressed? Not really. Worried slightly. Bemused? Certainly. Confused? Yes.
I don't know how I feel about it. I really don't. Because I feel like, when I said about being the best hostess ever,
Yeah.
I feel like, no, you haven't trumped me, but, that shit doesn't go through my head.
No, but that's because I'm naturally a domestic goddess, so it just lives in my veins. This sort of shit. What can I tell you?
I don't want to be a domestic goddess.
I know. You have no desires.
I have no desires.
I know.
I think it's a bit sad. Dear ladies, please tell me if you think I'm being unreasonable or not.
I bet she's not.
No, the answer is no, you're not being
very
unreasonable.
Reasonable.
My 13-year-old son has a new friend. He's a really nice kid, and I'm always happy to have him over. We have an open house policy here, so we are very used to the kids' friends hanging out here, eating here, and sleeping over. There's a theme this week, isn't there?
There is.
This boy has been coming over to our house now for months. My son has never once been invited back. He's basically spent the whole of the Easter holidays hanging out here. He then arrived on a Tuesday lunchtime and stayed until Wednesday night. I fed him lunch, dinner, breakfast, and lunch the next day. The parents have not once messaged me to say thank you. I'm not looking for a Nobel Prize here, but do you think it's just basic manners to drop another parent a message to check in and to say thanks for having and feeding my kid?
Yes.
I mean, yes. What is that? This isn't unusual, is it? Have you had this before?
Yeah. But it's not how I choose to go through life. I always check in. Like, if Josh, obviously not with the older two, because it'd be a bit weird at 21.
Hi.
Hi.
Have you
Thanks for having. Is Max okay? Does he need picking up? Is he all right without me? Tell him,
Are you sure?
Tell him he's got ballet at 10. But if Josh's at a sleepover, I'll always drop a text like,
always.
Hi, just checking the boys are okay. What time do you want me to pick up in the morning? I know Josh has his own phone, but
No,
and then the next day I'll be like, thanks for having him.
Yeah.
It's really standard.
Yeah.
And it takes less than 10 seconds of my time.
And also, especially if my daughters, again, not so much with Daisy, and because she's nearly 17 and I don't know, it just feels different.
Yeah.
But with the younger one, especially if she's on a sleepover, I would always check with the mum first that it's okay that she sleeps over. Of
course, yeah.
And then B, message to say thank you. Or I might say thank you for having her in that. But I would always check in.
I mean,
always.
To me, that's just kind of standard behaviour to me. Maybe that it isn't to everybody, and maybe I don't feel like I'm wrong in that. I think it's just standard. And also, like, manners are free.
Yeah. But to have this kid repeatedly and for the mother to just not message and to say thank you, I think that is really rude. I actually think it's bordering on rude. If this kid, she gave the kid 4 meals.
It's pretty rude.
And to not, I mean, presumably they know that the kid is at their house. So how old did they say they were? 13. Yeah.
Maybe they don't. Maybe they
must
don't.
do. Who doesn't know where their 13-year-old kid is?
I think a lot of people are tracking their kids, so they probably know where they are.
It's hard
all the
not
time,
to know where your
but
13-year-old kid is.
Listen, there are some kids I know who are pretty free range, even at that age. They're in the park, they're in a shopping centre, they're at a friend's house. And I mean, I don't keep a tight rein on, but I always know where he is.
I had this whole situation the other day, actually. And it was my daughter's friend. And I had to go and pick them up from a friend.
Yeah.
Lily Rose was coming back with another friend, and that friend was coming and staying for dinner.
Yeah.
Okay. As I'm driving there to get them, she phones me. Lily Rose phones me and says, "Can you drop blah, blah, blah at her friend's house?" I said, "I thought she was coming back for dinner." "Oh, she's not now. Can you drop her at her friend's?" I said, "No, I can't drop her at her friend's because her friend was in a completely the opposite direction."
Yeah.
She says, "Why not?" I said, "Because I'm not her taxi.
And also she has her own parents and she's their responsibility, not yours.
I'm not her taxi." Right.
Yeah.
So she says, "Can you drop her at the station?" I said, "Yeah, okay,
Sure.
fine. I'll drop her at the station." So I picked them up at 7 o'clock. It is still light out.
Yeah.
They're 14 years old. I wasn't massively keen about dropping a 14-year-old girl at the train station, to be honest with you. Anyway, they get in the car and the girl turns around to me and says, I said, I'm going to drop you at the station, yeah? She said, yeah, but I've only got 2% on my phone. So I said, well, how are you going to get to the next place then if you've only got 2% on your phone and I assume your money's on there? And, well, I don't really know. And I also don't really know where I'm going. When I get out of the station, I don't know where to go.
Right.
I said, well, how are you going to find out?
Yeah.
She said, well, I don't really know. I'm like, well, I can't leave you.
No.
I said, just call your parents. Where are your parents? They're out.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I looked at Lily Rose and I was like, really? She's like, what? I said, well, I said I didn't want to do a whole round robin, but now here I am. She's like, well, what do you mean? I said, well, I can't leave. I said to the girl, I can't leave you.
Of course
to just
can't.
find your own way without a phone and without any money. I'm not going to do that.
No.
So you'd better give me the address as to where you're going.
Yeah.
So she gives me the address. It is in completely the opposite direction of where we're going, right? It was like a 25-minute detour.
Yeah.
I was so fucked off about
I'm not
it.
surprised.
Right? Anyway, I dropped her there. She was very sweet. Like, thank you so much, thank you so much, thank you so much. She gets out of the car and I said to Lily Rose, that wasn't cool. She's like, it was not my fault. I said, it's not the point. It is not my responsibility to take this kid somewhere. It is her parents. She should have stayed where she was and demanded that her parents bloody pick her up. I don't know this kid. Anyway, I did think, oh, surely the mother will text me to say thank you.
Thanks so much for dropping her off at her friend's house. I'm sorry she didn't, I'm sorry she was very responsible with not having her phone charged and blah, blah, blah. Nothing. Butt kiss.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. I mean, what is that?
It's rude, my friend. It's rude.
Anyway, she was supposed to see Lily Rose the next day and they didn't end up seeing each other. And I think it's probably because I gave her a lecture.
That's okay. You're allowed.
It's not safe for a 14-year-old child to...
No.
Why is it suddenly my responsibility? I've got enough children to worry about.
Yeah. Don't we all?
I don't need more. The last thing I need is more 14-year-old girls on my hands, okay? I'm okay for 14-year-olds.
Don't send Nicole any 14-year-old girls to look after.
Maxed out with 14-year-old girls.
She's at capacity this week. Try Christmas.
That is our show on 40ish. We'll be back next week with an unfiltered.
Yeah.
You have to come over. You have to subscribe to Apple. You have to tell a friend that you want to listen to this show.
Oh, that's very bossy.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, I feel riled up after my
I
story.
can tell.
I feel riled up now.
You can also send us your dilemmas. We love them.
We do love them.
They make our week.
They do.
You can also send us any midlife ranting or moaning for our 40ish Unfiltered show on a Tuesday, and any feedback on the main show, because we like to hear that too.
Or you can feedback on Unfiltered, just feedback.
Yeah. Feedback. Talk to us. We're here.
Yeah.
We're listening.
Yeah. Be part of the conversation. We will be back on Tuesday.
See you then.